welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, the High Priestess J, and today I wanted to share with you a recipe that I've been wanting to share for a long time, but y'all know how I am. I'm a little bit of a procrastinator. So it's taken me a while to get to it, but I'm finally ready and here. So I wanted to show you my favorite herbal smoke blend. Because I don't know about y'all, but I like to smoke, and it doesn't really make sense for me to smoke tobacco because I know that that causes cancer. And so, and then also because of my profession, you know, I have to keep it like kind of straight edge. So this is going to be my favorite herbal smoking blend, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make it right now. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Okay, so for a herbal smoking blend, you can either do a 4-part blend or a 3-part blend. And for both of those blends, you're going to need a base, you're going to need a set of modifiers, and then you're going to need that little like acute bit of herbs that you really like to add in, like that little pizzazz. So I have it broken down in 4 different parts. I have a base, I have the action herbs, I have the astringent, and then I have the acute herbs. I like the little 4-part because it allows me to add much more herbs. So for your base, there are several different types of herbs that you can use, and I'm going to have them listed like here maybe, or like below, whichever I can figure out. And so I like to go in with 3 different kinds of herbs. I like to use mugwort, damiana, and mullein. That might be kind of extra actually, but whatever. And let me get my grinder here. So we're just gonna add 4 heaping tablespoons of each of these herbs. So here's one of the damiana. We got mugwort, and I'll probably just add like 2 heaping tablespoons of the mugwort because I wasn't sure. So 1, 2. And then I will add in, I'll just clean up afterward. Then I'm going to add in the mullein, which is kind of like a problematic herb for me a little bit because 1 heaping tablespoon. Because it's so fuzzy and soft that I notice a lot of times the herbs get stuck to it. So now I think I'm going to take my grinder and put some of the herbs inside of it, like the mullein specifically, and try and grind it down a little bit. You know what I just realized? Okay, that's fine. Whoops. I thought there was something else in here and I was like, I just want to make sure my thing is clean. But it is. So we're just putting it in the grinder and grinding it up a little bit so it becomes finer, and so that when I mix it, it's not so much of an issue. Okay. And we'll just take another clump and grind that too. And this little plastic acrylic grinder. Grind. All right, cool. So we got that together. That's my base. So now we're going to get my action herbs together. And so I chose to go with skullcap, lemon balm, althea leaf, and althea root. These are also called, the leaf and root are also called marshmallow. And oh, I didn't even explain the spiritual reasons why. Okay, so yeah, I like to smoke. It is something that in my family, like most of our generations have done on both my mother and father's side, which I think is pretty cool. And also I think that smoking is kind of like a spiritual thing as well. Whenever I think of smoke, I think of like incense or whatever, but I like to use like smoking as like a meditation to deep breathe and things of that nature. So the mullein leaf and the mugwort leaf are really good for psychic clarity and for downloading information. And then the Damiana, excuse me, is very, the Damiana is like relaxing. It relaxes the body. It gets you into a more receptive mood. It makes you more open. And it's also like, it has like a sweetening aspect, like in the hoodoo realm. It kind of like gets people to do stuff. So it really helps relax you and open up your mind to things. All right, so now we're getting in our action herbs, and I just showed you which 4 I'm using for that. So again, I'm going to do 4 heaping tablespoons, and I've got my lemon balm here. Lemon balm is really good for calming your nerves, relaxing you. So if you have anxiety or a lot of stress that you deal with, this is really great for that. We're going to go in with the skullcap. Skullcap is cool because it helps you relax as well. And this whole blend is going to be about relaxation and, you know, chilling out. But yeah, skullcap helps you relax as well. It actually can make some people fall asleep. So 1 tablespoon of that. I think actually skullcap can be given to like infants that have issues falling asleep. I could be wrong about that. I could have just made up a whole false memory, but we'll see. Okay, so then I have the Althea root and leaf. I wasn't sure which one to use. And I luckily have both, so I'm going with both. So here's the root going in. And I have here written that Althea root is for protection, psychic abilities, persuasion, spirit drawing, and invisibility. So here's a hoodoo tip. Ding. If you have an ancestor altar or a spirit altar, get yourself a jar with a lid or a stopper. Bonus points if it's skull shaped, and fill it with Althea root and Althea leaf. Okay, so it's been said that these two roots and leaves, they're the same plant, but it's been said that when they're mixed together, they help invite spirits down to your altar or into your space. So there you go. Here's the leaf, which I'm grabbing, boop, putting that in there. So those are my action herbs. Got 4 of those. I'm just gonna move that around. I'm making quite a bit, but usually when I make this, I gift it to people that I know smoke or like to smoke every now and then, or you know, whatever. Okay, so this is how the mixture is looking now. So then we're going to take an astringent, and basically this is to give the smoke blend that body that you get from like tobacco, just that kind of like, I guess that under flavor that gives it the tannins and whatnot. And so we're gonna do 2 teaspoons. We're starting to move into the smaller, okay, sorry. We're starting to move into the smaller measurements. I was looking at my measuring cups like, child, what's going on here? And so I said 2 neat teaspoons of the uva ursi. Since these are the astringents, you don't need so much. So I'm literally just going to put this directly into the grinder because the uva ursi leaves are, I don't know if you can see, but they're kind of big. And they're not really ground down. So we got our 2 teaspoons of that. In the grinder it goes. And just shredding it up. I really hope this little acrylic grinder is doing its thing here. Let's see. We can do better than that. Grind it up. That's all right. Get that in there, that uva ursi. And if you're wondering where I got these herbs from, I literally have gotten these herbs from all across the United States. I travel a lot for work, but to make it simpler for you, just Google herb shop in my city or herb shop near me. Or if you have a spiritual store near you, they might have loose herbs. If you have a grocery store that has an ethnic section, they might have these herbs packaged up. When I was in Houston, Texas, this was a brand that they had in the ethnic sections a lot. And so I just stocked up on a lot of these herbs. And then you can also go on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, if you're more comfortable with online shopping. And then there are also other stores that sell herbs as well. But, you know, I ain't getting paid by them, so I'm not, you know. Okay. And then finally, we have our flavoring. And so these are the acute herbs that you're just going to put a teeny tiny little bit of inside your mix. So I have here 1 teaspoon heaping. So teaspoon's kind of small. I kind of want to add more, but maybe I'll add 2 teaspoons. Yeah, let's do that instead. Okay. So I have some blue lotus root, which I really like to use for dream work. And I'm literally just pouring this onto my kitchen counter, which I clean every single day. So don't be acting crazy in my comments. Please, please don't act crazy in my comments. And I have some licorice root as well. I really like licorice root because it's very sweet on the tongue and in the back of the throat. And usually I drink licorice tea I usually drink licorice tea. And so we're just gonna add a little bit of that to the blue lotus. And I'm gonna scoop that inside of the grinder here. I probably should have gotten a metal grinder for this, since the licorice is like wood chips. I do have licorice powder, but what I found the last time that I made this, I used Damiana powder and licorice powder. And what I found was that the powders tend to settle down into the bottom of the mixture and they don't get evenly distributed, and I didn't like that. Now, for the herbs that are fuzzy like mullein, it was kind of okay because the mullein like clings to everything, but I just wanted something that was more solid and less powdery. So here it is broken up. I'm actually gonna take some of these pieces and try to like snap them a little bit. There are some pieces that are just too large. And based on whatever medium you're using to indulge in these herbs will change like the size of the chips and different things. So if you have if you're smoking with a pipe or something like that, then the big chips would be okay. But if you're smoking in something like, I don't know, a raw cone or something of that nature, it's not really conducive to what you're trying to do. It might rip the paper, so you'll want to stay away from that. So now I'm just like taking my nail and using it as a spatula to try and get some of the finer bits out. Oh God, this is so hard. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna pour it all out. Just pouring it all out. And here's some cute small bits. And we're just gonna add that in there like that. And then I'm gonna scoot this licorice here to the side so that we can continue with what we're doing here. And then next we have some rose petals and some lavender. I don't know about y'all, but smoking rose petals just makes me feel really rich and fancy. They're pretty when you put them inside the cone, which I love. It's super duper pretty to have that pop of color. So just got some rose petals, and then we're gonna go in with some lavender. My best friend had a wedding, and this is what we threw instead of rice. And it just smells so good. It smells so good, and also it adds another pop of color in there. I'm putting this into my grinder. These can actually stay unground, but I do like to have a bunch of different colors going on in this mix. I find it aesthetically pleasing, and I'm a Libra rising, so I like it when things look cute. So grinding that up, beautiful, and getting that inside the bowl. So this is the mix, and we're just taking my hands and mixing it up. Oh my gosh, the smell of the lavender is just so good. And this is the final mix. This is how it will look now. It is completely finished. It is ready to go. And I guess I can put it in a raw cone and show you guys what it would look like if it were to be rolled up. I like to use raw cones to smoke because they are, there's natural fibers made from hemp, and they're pretty easy to use. I used to be the type of person to, you know, get an 1882, is that what they're called? I forget what they're called now. Or the game leaves and take them apart and break them apart and all that stuff, back when I was more rugged and on my G game. But now I've toned that back a lot, just because I realized that I started losing my sense of smell. I started getting angrier quicker because it is tobacco when you're smoking a blunt or anything with tobacco products. So you do get the same side effects. Might not be as intense as if you smoke a pack of cigarettes, but you are still getting the same stuff. So I like to use the cones because it is hemp, it's natural, and it doesn't have the same effect on my body, mind, or soul as the tobacco. So I just take it, and you can literally just, well, it's gonna be a little bit harder, but you can literally just stuff it inside the cone. Just take some and put it in there. And what's cool about this mix is if you smoke tobacco or weed or anything, you can still put them together. And then I just use the little stick to press it down in there. We got, like, this is just an example, but we definitely have some like straight pieces in here that need to be broken down. And so again, if you smoke weed or something, or you just happen to have a grinder, you can always just grind it down some more so that it's better inside the cone. And it's got some pink in there, it's got some blues, got a lot of different greens and browns, and I just think it's really cool. It's a different alternative to smoking tobacco or smoking marijuana. And if you still smoke marijuana, you can add this into it and it will stretch out your supply. I'm trying to think of the word. It'll stretch out how much herb that you have. And it's just a nice little flavoring to add to your little session. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think below. And I will see you guys in my next video. So I've got this blend lit right now. And It tastes pretty good. It like, I think the Uva Ursi, I never used this before in it, but it really gives it like that body, that tannin that just has that taste like you're actually smoking something. And it smells pretty good too. Like it doesn't smell just like burning herbs or anything. So I think we did it. I think this is a success.